I hemmed and I hawed and wondered if I was going to put this video up or not. Let me explain as we move along here. I'm surprised, I'm shocked, and I'm lost at the same time. And thus begins our first coat of clear. I decided to brush. Remember, those panels are as brown as that door underneath that I'm using as a bench. I know, but this is a water-based lacquer, but it's not as creamy white on the product as it is showing on this video. I have no idea what it is. And even after days and it's installed on this camera only, will it look lighter than the rest of the ones that you're going to see done with the same finish but a couple of years ago.
The thing is, this clear coat is white, like white milk.
Here I'm
it's exactly like milk in the container.
I'm talking about it here now.
So it dries clear. As long as you don't leave any big blobs of it around. Even if you do leave some big blobs, after it dries, they will go into big clear blobs. Without sanding this first coat, before I put on the second, it's going to be a VI, a T and a C and an H to know what's done and what's not done. Because even now it's hard to tell.
This is 1080p, 60 frames per second, under LED strip lighting on the ceiling in the shop,
That furniture,
and
all that
LED.
furniture on here, that was all water-based.
And LED lights on the
Sprayed them
camera
all.
turned on.
As you soldered it.
I don't know if that has anything to do or not with it. But nothing like this
Not
showed up
a
on the old VCR,
Common
on the
thing.
VHS tapes.
I didn't even know they made
But
such
that-
an animal.
That light was, it wouldn't be an incandescent light, the spotlight. I don't know what they were. The lights we used back then.
It was years later before it came to Canada. I almost set up a distributorship with them from a company in Ohio to sell it here in Canada. But to retail in Canada, it had to have English and French. And everything they had was English only. All their literature, cans. I think the smallest one they had was a gallon. And it went up to 50 or 55, whatever it is, gallon drums. And I would have to carry the whole line. And it would all have to have French on it. That was outrageously expensive. expensive. So I opted out not to do it. That's 2 done. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to go. I hate to say it, if I had my spray gun out, I would have been done.
The thing is here, that blue shirt is exactly that blue.
Just
That
one excuse
green
I have.
bag right there is
Exact.
exact.
With the brush, it's a little thicker, so I'm getting a higher build on it.
The
Whoopie-doo.
yellow on that Minwax stain can on the table back there or behind me is exact. That
is-
blue on this can that I'm using here right now is exact. But those damn panels are the same color, like I said, as that table that I'm working on. It's brown, it's walnut, it's special walnut that you have seen when I rubbed it on. You're probably thinking now I threw them out and I'm clear coating bare wood. Like I said, I'm puzzled. As you can see, it dries very fast. If this is with the spray gun, I'll spray it with one hand, pish, 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 back and forth, take my other hand and rub it over it. It's dried because the HVLP also heats and supplies heat to the finish as it's spraying it. That's one done.
I had in there. This is coat number 2. Okay, seeing that first coat wasn't too bad. It didn't raise the grain too bad either. But now, I think she's going to get tricky.
look at that panel. That's the color. That's how they've been all along. Now that I was in front of that light, or was I shading the lens? What the hell? I'm lost.
So beginneth the worstest part of the whole operation. Ain't gonna be too bad with the sander, on the flats. But when I start getting into the profiles, all gotta be done with wrapped around my finger. She's right smooth now, boy. Now there is some, and I have said, and I have done. I have said, I have read, I have heard. There's no need to wipe this off. This is finished. This dust, that's finished. Just go ahead now and you just paint right over it and it'll melt right in. I don't, I've done it and I don't see any ill results in not doing it. But I won't be particular about cleaning it up with a tack rag or anything like that. I will just maybe take off some heavy. And I might even set her airborne with the air hose so she can come back down and settle in the finish. Hey, can't do that with this stuff because it dries too fast and it'll pebble. Okay, that was easy. Now the real fun begins. Like you can't concentrate on one area too much because you sand through the finish, eh? That's why I put 2 coats on. And if you do, then you gotta go get stain and touch up. If you got bare white wood showing through. And that wouldn't be good. These cutters, not the raised panel cutter, but the cutter for the rail and styles, are my design, which is a combination of others that I never necessarily owned or tried, but have seen and consider them this is going to be a bitch for the poor guy doing the finish. And these were designed not to be hard. And as you see here, just a couple of strokes. I'm in a cove right now. Now I'm coming out over a round over, and I just came through a drop. There we go, that's done. Did I do that? Sure feels like it. I didn't do that. In a cove, end of my thumb, coming to a bit of a round over, put a drop, put a round over, going into the hole in the panel. And I sold that design in with the doors. Well, how can I say that? I use that as a selling point. There you go. And anybody who's a finisher would say, ah, because this is the most time consuming right here. This is what made this whole process, since you've seen the coloring, the pre-stain, the stain, the rubbing down, the top coating, blah blah blah, all this. This is what has made thermofoil, those PVC thermofoil doors, popular. Because 9 out of 10 cabinet shops are not equipped to finish a product. It takes a certified spray booth, filters, paints approved, lacquers, a big deal. So what they do, they just need to have a measuring tape to know how to measure. They order that PVC plastic crap. And I admit, it looks nice. And it's cheap. And it'll last if you look after it and don't have too much humidity, or you don't get them wet or damp. And if you got them from a good company, the white stays white. If not, they're yellow. But they'll change color somewhat, regardless of the color. But you won't notice it unless you had to replace it with a new door. Then you would really notice it. But it's quick, it's wham, it's bang, they get them in, they open the box, throw it in the back of their truck, and away they go. Well, the two panels are done. The two wainscoting panels are done. With the pad sander and the hand sander. I have these wainscoting panels for the front foyer done with the palm sander, and I'm just about ready now to do profiles. This is the joiner strip for the panels. And these are the base blocks for the doorways. I guess you figured out what that hole was there for when you saw me cut it out. Electrical box. It's all the neatest thing on YouTube. one of the channels I watch. When you're doing drywall, and you got a plug, even the octagon box. There's this little gizmo that you put over it with a magnet in it, or the magnet's in the other end, can't remember now, but anyway, it fits over the electrical box. You put your sheet of drywall up in place, lay this gizmo on it, it sucks onto the electrical box, lines itself up perfectly. You take your router or your drill or your keyhole saw or whatever you're using to cut out the drywall around the electrical boxes. You cut her out on the line that you draw from this little jig you stick on the outside that centers itself up on the box. Cut it out, and then you take the plug out, the piece out, the piece of drywall out, and you reach in and pull this little device out and go stick her on another box. Pretty neat. You don't have to put the drywall up and mark it. I've seen a lot of bullshit things used, from lipstick to grease to whatever you can think of. I never had a problem with a measuring tape myself, so I would just make a reference point wherever the drywall is going to be, sitting on the floor, measure from the floor up, measure from the other sheet or the window or whatever is there over. Take those transfers over, those measurements over, mark them on the drywall, pop out the hole, and screw her in place. But not everybody can use a measuring tape, so they use these little gizmos. But remember, they don't have to work. They need to sell. But this worked. You didn't like it on the first one. Oh, this is bullshit, It's something they didn't like about it, but they stayed at it. And then lo and behold, they caught on to it. It's like anything, I guess. And there it was, live and in person. I watched them popping them out. Like I say, even on the octagons, where you put your pot lights in or whatever, I don't know if it was the same fixture or if you buy a little 2x3 for your plugs and switches, and a separate one for the octagon or not, I don't know. But pretty neat. While I talked. Is my head in there? I know it's not. But I know now that it is. Alright, if you're observant, you will see I changed cans. Well, I didn't. This is what I've been using, and I got about 2 brushfuls left. So last night I got on the computer and found where it is in Windsor, and I found this exact stuff, 2000 sheen, interior, gloss, blah 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 blah, crystal clear, non-yellowing, professional results. Doesn't say it's a professional using it, just saying professional results. So in I goes to aisle 6, row 17, and no, there ain't nothing there. So herself goes over and finds one of the workers, and he come over and says, oh yes, he said, everything's the same, they just changed the can. And this is the new can. Can you see that in there? I can't tip it over, it's too full. But it's milk. This is white as milk. Well, here goes. everything done so far is now about to be covered up. So up till now, you had a chance to fix, do, or correct whatever you may have screwed up. After this, it's going to be more difficult. Looking good, looking good, looking good. I like it, I like it. And this is so fast with such a thin coat that everything they do is going to go white and milky. If they shut up long enough and wait till tomorrow, all that would go away. It would finally dry all the way through and the milkiness would go out of it. Just what I'm getting here now. I don't know how much friggin' thinner I can put it on. So you imagine with a spray gun. So anyhow, sure enough, boy. First set of doors. Guy calls me up. Says, what do you got on your machine beds? Something is reacting to my finish. My doors are all white. I goes, oh, use water-based lacquer. Yeah. You're new at it. Yeah. You didn't take any courses in it or follow any directions in it. I've been spraying for 100 years. I don't have to read a book. Okay. Well, nothing's wrong. Give it a couple of days. Call me back if you got a problem. Of course, then I would tell him. Oh, really? And that was that. The Reed brothers in Newfoundland there even had issues. And they're like professionals as you can get. But they just weren't professional with a new product or use it properly. Here's how much I used to do what I'm about to show you. Half an inch, maybe. I'd say closer to 3/8 of an inch. Now I'll turn on the light. Those are the panels for up in the front hall. And these are the ones going up the stairs.